go ahead and discuss a piece of gear. This is an inch eyeball. This is the CRKT Columbia River Knife Tool Company, something like that. I don't know if that's going to show up, but the Folts Minimalist Design. This is the Folts Design Minimalist, the Bowie style. And it took me a long time to decide how I feel about this knife. It fits good to your hand. You know, for being as small as it is, and I have decent sized fingers. I'm kind of in between size on gloves. Large is kind of tight, extra large is a little baggy. So, if that gives you a reference. But I've had people with smaller hands, and it just seems to fit whoever's holding it. You've got some real nice cutaways in here that fit nicely. This lanyard, which I don't really know what the purpose of it is unless it's part of the design, and if it was, hey, somebody put a lot of thought into it. It's actually a nice place for your pinky to grab a hold of, just so you feel like you got, you know, a little more. It's full tang, decent thickness, you know, not that you're going to be taunting wood with this or anything. It'll hold an edge. It'll definitely, you know, do some cutting. How to put this? Would it be a knife that I would rely on? Probably not. It just, I don't have a lot of faith in it, and it's not let me down. It's, you know, like you know, I can take off some nice shavings with it, and it'll definitely do its job. You know, there's just something about it that I'm not too sure about, and that's why it's taking so long to do a review. Sometimes it seems like the edge will last on there, and then other times it seems like the edge don't last at all. Now, the original reason I got this was I hurt my hand. I actually messed up my tendons in my middle finger here, and I was not allowed to use my hand. It went on for a good while, and at work I use a knife regularly, and most of the time it's for opening boxes, that type of deal. Most of the time. And I wanted a knife that I could grab one-handed, and actually had it flipped around. I had it flipped around here, so I could left-hand it. And it's great for that. I mean, you know, I have to have a badge at work, an ID badge, and it's, you know, it's got a scanner to get indoors. And I usually clip it to the loop right here. And it's convenient, you know, if I need to cut something, cut it, put it back, you're done. Easy one-handed operation. Now, it has a feature that I do like. I really like this feature, especially since I use it at work, and you know, I work in facilities. I'm dealing with equipment, I'm dealing with machinery and moving parts. It's got the breakaway. It holds pretty steady, but not to the point where it's going to even hurt your neck if it snaps. You know, size, yeah, it snapped, but I can still draw the blade without taking it off. Or you can even put your thumb there, pop it. This is, I believe it's called a Kydex sheath, and it comes with actually a clip that you can mount multiple ways, and you attach the clip through these holes, and you can, you know, it's a belt loop, you know, belt clip, and you can have it so it mounts on your belt vertically, horizontally, vice versa, whichever way, you know. One thing I will note, and I've seen other people that did reviews on this, they noted that when you get this sheath, it looks like the Tanto, whatever it is. It's shaped for it. And it's more than likely, in the explanations I've seen online, it seems to make sense. It's a money-saving feature. One sheath fits all of them. They don't have to make 3 different sheaths for their different styles, because they have a defense knife, which is kind of like the curved blade. Then they have the Tanto style. So, it's a great knife to have on hand. Would I want it to be my only knife in the woods? By no means, no. Does it have a place in the woods? Brought it with me today. You know, I actually didn't need it, but it's here. It'd be a great prep knife for food. I've seen people skinning with it. Actually, there's a video out there on YouTube of a guy skinning a deer with it. So you know, it can be used, and it doesn't take much to sharpen it. I have one of those Smiths that I tend to carry with me. Let me see if I can get it without throwing everything off. Make you dizzy. Now that we're at an angle, I just have a Smith's knife sharpener. It's got a carbide edge and a ceramic edge, and you know, a couple good passes with it, and you're good to go. And that right there is a great thing to carry. It only weighs like 2 ounces, 1.5 ounces, something like that. Speaking of which, this also only weighs, I think with the sheath and the hanger, I think it was just around 2 ounces. But that right there, you know, you throw it in your pack, don't take up any space. You can sharpen your knives out in the field. A bonus tip for you. Now, this can be used. Actually, you know, I imagine you could even do some carving with it. It's a nice heavy blade. So, and the price I got it for, and I can't remember what it was now, but it's a good deal. It's a good buy. If you're looking for a small neck knife, something that you can just do odd tasks here and there with, definitely buy it. If you're looking for a backup knife to go in the bug out bag to rely on and, you know, do whatever you want to prep or whatever you do, this wouldn't be it. You know, even the defense one, that curved one, I wouldn't rely on it for defense. It's just not a big enough blade. You know, there's much better out there. You know, this one, it has a good look to it. You know, if somebody's at you and your choice between stop or stop, you know, you're going to go with something bigger. So this is not for a prepper style. Bushcrafting, definitely a great little neck knife to have. So that's my opinion on it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. One thing I will note, if you look real close, and I don't know if it'll show up, right here and also at this end where the lanyard goes through, they're not quite contacting. I'm not sure if this is glued down. There's little screws here on each side, but you know, if you've ever taken a knife apart before, the screws don't always mean anything. Sometimes they're just glued in there, and then the handle's glued on just to make it look like it's bolted together. It does have a nice look. I really like the look. Like I said, it's like a fiberglass, layered where they sand it, and almost there's a type of wood that has a look like this, and I can't think of what it is. But now, since the way it's made, all of them will be different. You'll have a different handle on every one. You know, it's sanded down to its dimensions, but it's just a piece of laminate. You know, one layer, one layer, one layer. So where one might be sanded down where you see all green, like on this side. This side's all black. You know, not a big deal. Some people are more into looks than functionality. Kind of go both ways. The more I get into this, the more I'm into functionality, not looks, just because I've got to depend on it. Who cares if it's shiny if it doesn't do me any good? Something to consider picking up. I would definitely recommend it if this is going to suit your purposes. Kind of a generic term, right? But you know, if you're looking for something to have on hand for easy little tasks, you know, you don't want to whip everything out, make your cuts. I used it when I was stringing up the ridgeline for my hammock. Cut the rope, no problem. Flip it back. You know, and I was actually able to hold the rope, make the cut, slip it back, and not lose the tension that I was trying to keep. So, go out there, pick yourself one up, and if you're disappointed, it's your own fault. I ain't taking no responsibility.